This is where we come to have a quiet pint and to meet our pals in show business. And tonight, I'm meeting a chappie. I'd like to introduce you now to my idol. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the Britain's greatest comedians, Mr. Arthur Askey.
My dear Ken.
Commander.
Oh, careful, not the booze.
Oh.
For God's sake, be careful.
Arthur.
Yes. Ken?
Very, very funny man, but you're not just a common comedian, are you? Not just a common.
I'm not common.
No, you have.
Am I a comedian?
You've had about 10 careers.
Ken, you said some very nice things when you introduced me then. Well, can I, in all sincerity, say something, and I really mean this, Playmates, which is my camera, that one. That one there. No, I mean this in all sincerity, Ken. I've said this on radio, I've said it on telly, I've said it in print, and you, without doubt, are the funniest comedian in this country.
Never.
I really mean it.
No, you.
No, I really mean it.
Well, you must have worked with hundreds of different acts all over the years and all different balmy people. What was the balmiest act you ever...
No, this was years ago. There was a fella, and he called himself the Great Rudolfo, or something like that. And he was doing no business, playing a very small theatre. But on Friday night, he put up a bill and said, on Friday night, the Great Rudolfo will eat a man alive. So there was no business all week. Friday night, it was packed to the ceiling. Then the Great Rudolfo came out in front of the curtains and said, ladies and gentlemen, and now for my great challenge, £1,000 challenge. I'm going to eat a man alive. Have I a volunteer? Which he didn't expect, but it was a Friday night. There was the usual drunk in, and he went up on the stage. So the Great Rudolfo stuck with him now. So the scene had been set. There was a table with a white tablecloth on, and two of the chorus girls were dressed as nurses, and there was a writing table and a washhand stand. So he said to this fella, now you're doing this at your own risk. You've got to sign this document to say if anything happens to you, it's your own free will and accord. So the fella said, I don't mind, you know. So they took him over to the desk, the two nurses. What time the Great Rudolfo was cleaning his teeth with the washhand stand. Then he put a white overall on, and now they've got this fella lying stripped to the waist on the table. So the Great Rodolfo goes across, the lights go down, the music starts, and he goes to this fella and he bites him there. Through blood. This fella goes, wow! Jumped up and disappeared. And the Great Rodolfo said, well, ladies and gentlemen, the volunteer... And now they're starting throwing things. So he disappeared quicker than the fella. And that was the end of the Great Rodolfo.
You're always cracking gags about your height.
That's right.
But there are lots more small. I mean, Georgie Wood. Georgie Wood. Now tell us about him.
Dear old Georgie Wood. Well, you know, he was a bit of an eccentric. He talked more than I do, and that's it. Oh, you. And he became a convert. He changed over to the Catholic faith and was very earnest about it. And he went on a pilgrimage to Rome, and it appears you stand in a long line and you go in one at a time, kiss the ring, you're in about 15 seconds and out again. Well, Georgie goes in, and he's in 15 seconds, a minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, quarter of an hour. The Swiss guards are all getting worried now. So they open the door just in time to hear the Pope saying, but I assure you, Mr. Wood, I am a Catholic.
What? I used to listen to you in Bandwagon.
In Bandwagon,
with Norcia Bagwash.
True.
And I have a theory. Norcia Bagwash was really, later, Sabrina, wasn't she?
That's right.
Because she didn't speak.
With a bit more free, that's right, we kept her quiet.
Where's Sabrina now?
Sabrina, well, she had to give up the business.
Why?
She got a slow puncture. So She's married, and believe it or not, she's living in Hollywood. Married to a psychiatrist.
Well,
he was going to say feels the bumps.
No. What I was going to say, I was going to drink your health. Young Arthur Askey. Young Arthur Askey.
Cheers.
And I'd like to thank you from myself and from everybody else in Great Britain for being big-hearted Arthur.
Thank you.
For all the happiness you've given us all over the years, Arthur, as the premier jester, there is a beautiful ceramic jester.
Oh, isn't that marvellous? How about that?
We'd also like to say a very big thank you.
Hardy.